Good morning. Thank you for keeping it Citizen Television Daybreak. It is. We appreciate your company. If you began with us at 6 in the morning till now, as we continue with the second part of the program. It is Tuesday, and like we always do it every week, it is the social hour. We get to talk about issues that help us become better social beings. And this morning, I'm really excited about this one. We are going to be talking about the truth about lies. Nimesema hivyo tu nikasikia watu wamecheka here. We want to talk about lies and understand why do people lie. You know, we live in a society where lying has been made so normal such that people lie even when it would have been easier to just say the truth. Sometimes unajikuta tu kwa situation umedanganya and you maybe kama ungesema ukweli you would have solved so many things. So why do people lie, and how can you detect when somebody is lying? So I have a panel with me, the experts on these issues. Mimi kazi yangu tu ni kuuliza maswali on your behalf. So keep engaging us. 22422 is our SMS platform. At Safin_Cheng is where you can also communicate with me directly on social media at Citizen TV Kenya. And of course, I have my lovely panel with me in studio. Nataka waambie where you find them on social media first and foremost. As we kickstart this, CJ, karibu sana.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. Can't complain.
At CJ Atemo.
At CJ Atemo.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes.
All right.
At Cutie Lady Josh, everywhere.
Roberta, where can people lie to you?
Roberta Bobby. Roberta Bobby everywhere. Everywhere. Adi LinkedIn. Nasemanga hiyo juu natafuta kazi.
Tumesemaje?
Roberta Bobby.
Utatuonyesha
Roberta ama Roberta.
Roberta.
No, unasema na hiyo energy.
Yes.
Anyway, so if there's one thing I want to become when I grow up is to be a lie detector. Si watu wanadanganya hii town. If there's one thing I want to become is a human lie detector. Really, I can see you, nione unaniambia kitu na najua from afar. This one you're lying because the things people have gone through because of lies. Anyway, let's talk. Roberta, ushaijipata kwa situation, like what's like the worst lie yenye siwe umesema? Acha nitoke huko. Najua utaki niende huko. Acha nianze softer. Yenye ushaiambiwa yenye ili kuput off balance, or something that happened as a result of a lie you underwent an experience that probably you'd like to share with us.
You know, the thing with lies, it's not even usually the worst lie that like destroys you. It's usually, okay, let me speak for me. It's usually the smallest white lies that I feel insult my intelligence, especially when I've given someone a chance and this space to be themselves, to be able to be honest with me. And then they just insult like my respect, my intelligence. I think those are the kind of lies that get to me, because as human beings, I think sometimes lies just exist and lies can be essential. They happen sometimes. So a lie doesn't have to be something that completely like destroys you or hurts you. And let me tell you, as a former liar, I don't lie anymore, I promise. As a former liar.
Reforming.
Yes.
No, say reforming.
Okay, reforming. So if I've lied to you recently, please know I'm on a journey, and I'm still on the path to growth. Like, I'm not there yet, but like I'm doing my best. As someone who used to lie, when you're lying, kwanza lying, it just becomes, you know, the things we do as human beings become habit pretty easily. Yeah. And when you're even telling these lies, they're so natural. They become part of your life. You don't even, it's so effortless. You don't plan a lie. You don't think, tomorrow I'm going to lie like this, like this. It's just, sometimes you're caught in situations where it comes out because you're used to telling lies. If you're not an honest person, if you've never been accorded the space to be able to be truthful, or maybe you fear, it could be due to anything, maybe your traumas, the way you grew up. If you're not used to being honest, a lie comes out easier and faster. And most times it just becomes part of your personality. So you don't even realize, you blur the lines between what's you being honest and what's you making up stories. And sometimes if you keep going, it becomes harder for you to be able even to be an honest person. Now, ukishabla izo lines, it's like you can come back from it, but it's a bit difficult because it takes a lot of intentional effort. So I was saying, as a former liar, these lies become part of you. You just become that person until the day you wake up and take the deliberate action to say, this life. Because when you lie, let me tell you, you die of anxiety. You're always confused and scared because you can get caught anytime. You jumble up your stories. They're never straight. You forget. It's just too much in telling lies, and it gives you so much pressure. So until the day you get to the point where you're like, hey, pressure, siwezi anymore. I'd rather just deal with the truth and face facts. It's very difficult to stick in lies, at least for me. That's what made me want to do better. So I think lies ni vitu, tunaweza kuwa hard on people who lie, but ukichunguza utapata pia we udanganya. At some point.
We are all on a journey. Yeah. Cutie, tell me a bit about yourself. She said she's a reformed liar. What about you? This subject lies, yeah? Wewe unaichukulia vipi?
No, I think everyone lies. We would be lying if we say hakuna mtu adanganyi. Hiyo nao ni uongo. Everyone lies. Kuna ile lie yenye. And sometimes what we need to understand, sitaki kusema they are good lies. Hakuna ati good lies, but sometimes inakuanga to protect someone. You protect someone. You're lying just to protect them, or you might withhold information. So if you withhold information, someone might think they lied to me, but you can just decide, I'm not going to tell that story. You get. So sometimes people lie for personal gain, I'd say. Kuna wale wana lie for personal gain. Like tu mtu anakuwa selfish and I'm not going to. Yani nitadanganyana tu. But kuna those guys that lie to protect themselves or to protect the other party. I feel like children lie to avoid punishment. For children, I think it's like, atakudanganya tu ndo usimpige, ama ndo usimfanyie sijui nini, au mi naweza sema tu ya watoi ni ku avoid punishment. But most of the time, unaweza pata pia, I'm protecting myself. I don't want to expose myself because someone might ask me something like, where do you live? I don't want to say where I live. Why are you asking me where I live? Or are you married? Or do you have a child? And I'm like, that's my personal life. I don't think. Unaget. So kuna venye unaweza avoid.
There's a difference between lying.
Yes.
Choosing not to respond.
And choosing not to respond. So if you choose not to respond, someone will say, oh, so you're lying to me. But you're not lying. Mtu anaweza kuuliza, by the way, kitu akuulize, where were you yesterday? Yesterday night when I was calling you, where were you? And you decide not to answer that question. So the person might think you're lying to them, but you're just withholding information because you're protecting them or you're protecting yourself. So it really depends.
I think your example yesterday night.
But nimesema, but unasikia statement nimeanza nayo, hakuna mtu wadanganya. Hapo tutakuwa tunadanganyana tukisema, I think everyone lies. It just depends the amount of lies that you're putting. But the problem with lying, as Roberta was saying, is when you lie once, it becomes a habit, number one, and then you have to protect that lie with another lie. So the lies will keep on piling and piling. Ulianza kama jokes. Because sometimes tu unasemaga tu kitu as a joke, and then people start believing that joke. So when people believe that joke, you cannot go back on it. Utajipata tu sasa umeanza ku build lies on it, build lies on it. Unambegawa say, mi by that as sijaifanya kitu fulani. Alafu wana believe. Na ulikuwa tu unasema tu as a joke. So when you do that, the lies build up, the lies build up. Sasa unajipata uko kwa shimo na uwezi jitoa kwa hiyo shimo. So it really depends with if you're protecting yourself, if you're protecting the other party. I don't want to hurt your feelings, Safin. If you're looking, ukuje uniulize, hey, leo nakaa aje cutie? And then I'm like, by the way, unakaa fiti. But that's na kuenjoy because I don't want to hurt your feelings. So I'm protecting you. Safin cheki, I'm protecting your feelings. Because nikikwambia ukai fiti unaweza sikia vibaya mazee. Unaget?
Fanya hivi.
Tuambiane ukweli.
Wacha sije atuambie. Kuna hiki tu cutie anajaribu.
Why should I hurt your feelings?
There's a point you're allowed to.
There's a good lie.
There's a point you're allowed to lie.
Nikikwambia ukai fiti, nikikwambia unakaa fiti na protect feelings zako juu sitaki usikie vibaya.
Is a lie.
So unajua umekaa fiti ukitoka kwa hao. Ukitoka kwa house unajua unakaa poa. So ukikuja hapa nikwambia ukai fiti, sitakuwa fair. So nitakwambia tu unakaa fiti by the way.
And you know the example she's using? The example she's using, there are people who actually do that.
Yes.
In so many instances.
We wouldn't have been.
People lie in the in the veil of I'm
Yes.
doing it for the interest, for the good. Yeah, like I'm protecting someone or I'm protecting the relationship.
it's true.
And CJ, you know, your understanding of lying in the context of a relationship and even rope in this argument yenye QT anajaribu kutuambia ati there kunafika point you can lie for good to protect someone. Tell me something else other than that being selfish.
You know, you were going to know that QT was going to go a certain direction when she started with everybody lies. The moment people give disclaimers.
Okay. That is where we are in the world. Unfortunately, lying is becoming
the moment
okay.
somebody has a disclaimer, just know.
All of us are in it together. So.
But you see, we lie because we are poor communicators. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
Either way. Because if me telling you the truth will hurt you, it means that you also have not developed yourself into the place where communication can be done with you without you separating emotions from the facts. So if I have to protect your feelings, then it also tells something about how you communicate. So if I have to lie to you for you to remain feeling good, what about the day you find the truth? You see, the people who, over time, sometimes will come back and say, so all this while you've been lying. The danger of doing what Kitty is saying is, one day this person will confront the truth. And then now they will never know when your compliments are genuine or not. There's something about, even when you're dealing with children, that your compliments should be genuine. It should be genuine when I say you look good. Like, I'm not just telling you that to feel good. I mean it. So that the day I say it, anything that I say to you, eventually you will build it up. It works on your self-esteem as well, the affirmation. If you know that I just say things for the sake, you begin to ignore what I say. My words lose value. And you know, words are like currency. So if I always just say it for the sake, then it begins to lose the weight. There are people that you meet, and even if they say, Safin, today you're looking good, you know, well, this one is telling that to everybody, everywhere. That's who they are. So it doesn't even build you. Yeah. They may have meant well, but it doesn't even build you because...
But guys, they look good, right?
Yes, you do.
Go on.
But so sometimes, even when you have good intentions, those good intentions can come back and boomerang against you. So I think we just need to learn communication properly. So if I'm told the truth and it is not palatable to me, how do I handle it? So that people don't lie to me in trying to protect me from hurting me. Can I handle truth when it is uncomfortable? Can I grow myself with truth when it's uncomfortable? And when you consider too much how the other person will receive this information, and it is very valid because we do that a lot to protect people. When you consider this too much, then that person will never grow out of it. Now, they need to be able to hear the truth and react to it. It's just like, again, I go back to a child. You know, when a child is getting conscious about the presence and the absence of the parent, the worst thing to do is to hide to go to work. You need to let the child see you leave. They need to cry through it so that they grow their emotions through it.
Well, that's easier said than done.
No, it's not easier said than done. It's just like going to the gym.
Yeah.
It's just like going to the gym. It hurts you, but you go.
Yeah.
Because you know the benefits.
You just watch your child crying as you go.
Yes, but you do that when you take them to school. The faster you take them to school, the disconnection, but you know it is necessary for them. They've got to go through the process. And so because we try to get people to avoid processes, we tell them what we think they want to hear. And you'll be shocked that some people will actually appreciate being told the truth. While we're thinking that we need to protect them, they actually would appreciate to be told the truth. So we are liars because we are poor communicators. It's just as simple as that. So even if we bring in things like self-preservation, survival, whatever it is, it's just we are poor communicators. Maybe also I'm afraid of your reaction. And I don't know how to handle your reaction. I may tell you something and then you'll get upset. And I don't want to be in the space where you are upset, or I don't want you to call me to accountability over something that I've said. So because I want to protect myself from all of that, and I don't know how to communicate where I was at in my mind or in my emotions when I did something or did not do something, then it's easier to come up with a different story. You know, yeah.
Roberta, there's something you said about how lies make you feel, and I found that quite important. I wanted you to shed more light on, that it doesn't matter how small a lie can be, but there's a way that lie makes you feel. I want you to talk to us about that, and because we never really think about penye mtu vile mtu amekubeba, yeah. Let's talk about that, yeah. While you're lying to this person, what does it, other than the lie, what's the bigger picture that this person is communicating about, even how they carry you, or how they consider you, or where they've placed you in their lives?
I like your question a lot because, most times watu wakitukosea, we take it very personally. So it goes both ways. Kuna hiyo part ya venye amenibeba. Lakini ukikaa chini, urealize kenye CJ amesema niyo, at the end of the day, ni breakdown ya communication. You start to realize it really has nothing to do with me as the recipient of your lies. It's just about that person and how they are and how they're used to communicating or not communicating. And it's interesting. When we began, you said you'd like to become a human lie detector, and I'll tell you how to do that.
Okay.
So it's not a foolproof method, but it's something I say here all the time. The reason I stopped being a liar, I'm calling myself out because most people, when they even watch, they don't think maybe those people can go through the things we go through. Maybe they don't understand. Maybe you've never lied, so you've never been lied to. You've never... Listen, tuko hapa juu, hizi vitu tumezidu, na sengine tunaziendelea kuzifanya. We are just all trying.
Nobody is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason I stopped is because I started deliberately hanging out with people of a certain caliber. People who are better than me, richer than me, smarter than me, hotter than me, just better than me in all ways. And I realized the reason these people are like that. I can even give an example of CJ and Cutie. I can't hang out with CJ and lie. Like, Ajay, not only will he see through my lies, and even if he doesn't see through them, I feel very disrespected because, honestly, after he's accorded me all that space to be able to show up as myself, how will I lie to someone with self-discipline like Cutie? How can I hang around her and lie? She'll be able to tell. Why? Because she's the kind of person who's working on herself consistently. Not only when you work on your body, you work on your mind, you work on your heart, you work on the company you keep. Saizi, I'm sure you can't have friends who are, let's say, maybe lazy because of the kind of person you are. Si ati unawashan ama una look down upon them. It's just the kind of level you've put yourself at. You need a certain kind of person who communicates better, keeps time, is, amazing to you on your level. So when I started hanging out with such people, there's literally no space to lie. Not only is there no space, it's just, ata mi mwenyewe enda feel weird because already wameni accord place yenye neza kwa myself. And not...
So you're saying there's some level of control that you can have yourself that can help you manage how people, what people tell you, whether they lie to you or not. Like you have some level of control.
So the thing is elevating yourself, elevating your life. Become a better person in all sorts of ways. Whether it's becoming more emotionally intelligent, becoming more logically intelligent, learning more. It could be about anything, improving your life in whatever little way. You start to have very low tolerance for low caliber experiences. I can give a simple example, like maybe you want to have a cleaner diet. This thing will reflect in everything you do, not just in your food. It will reflect in your spirituality. It will reflect in the kind of friends you keep. You cannot be friends with people who steal and lie when you're improving your own life. You'll be able to tell because you can recognize, wanasemanga real recognize real. Really? You can see, you can feel in the energy when an honest person is being honest with you. You can feel when someone is withholding information. And remember, I started by saying, most times tukikosewa, we take things personally, but most times it has nothing to do with you. It's about how that person is. And CJ said, ni break down to your communication. Watu wengine wenyewe hawajawahi kuwa accorded your space ya kukua able, kukua honest. Anytime they wanted to speak, they were shut down. Anytime they wanted to ask for the truth. Now, kama hii conversation ya Gen Zs na millennials, something that's very significantly different about the Gen Zs and the millennials, mi niko hapo katikati. But double a bit in both sides. As millennials, we grow up not very subdued, but a little more subdued than maybe the Gen Zs are. We were uwezi ongea, ungeongea, ungechapwa, ungesema kitu, ungenyamazishwa. But our watoi wako very bold, very confident. They're very able to be themselves. Ukimwambia, you're going to sit in the office past 5 time yangu ikisha 5 mi nenda home. Haugopi kukua honest na kukushow how it is like, because that's how they have grown up, that's how they are. And people who are like that, you'll find most times they were accorded this space to be like that. Utapata, their parents used to allow them to just, even if they had to fight for their freedom, like they exist in a space where communication happens. You can talk. You can just say, Mam, leo nenda out na mabeshte zangu na sikuji. Sisi unadhani ungefanya hivyo? You had to lie, nenda kwa kina Safin, kuchukua biology book. Nikishachukua biology, tutafanya science mpaka midnight, alafu tulale mpaka ndakuja 6 a.m. You know, like things like that. So it's mostly about, it has nothing, we take it like, mtu ananibebaje, but I'd like for us to have more grace. Angalia, mtu ana go through nini. Imagine mtu ana go through nini within themselves, because when you lie, haunanga amani. Let me tell you haunanga amani. Anxiety inakwanga through the roof. You get defensive. Your stories never match. Anything you say, people don't believe you. People are always skeptical, and people can always feel the energy. And most times when people are telling lies, they know these things, but because it's their habit, it's hard for them to break out of it as easier. Yeah.
Cutie, hivyo vile amedescribe, again I would say, I wish we were there. But for ground, yeah? Sometimes before, it's not an accidental lie. Wacha tuache na hizo case. Sometimes before mtu akudanganye, amekusoma. Ameangalia all the odds. Ameangalia wapi na wapi. You know, talk to us about the realities that probably sometimes these serial liars, you know, some of the things that they can implement to really camouflage that lie, waifunike kabisa mpaka usione. Kuna watu walijipeana, they were nice, they did all the good things, they were the best version of themselves, but bado character development iliwachapa. Yeah?
Unajua Safina nakwambia hii story.
Waliamka siku moja wakajikuta wako peke yao kwa hiyo relationship. Where did they go wrong? Like ni wapi walikosea, wanauliza.
But mostly nakwanga
hizo vitu zote Roberta amesema walifanya.
Kwanza Roberta ameongea fiti. Roberta ameongea poa sana, anasema birds of the same feather flock together. Ukikana watu wanalai utajipata tu unalai. Ukikana watu wako honest. But naweza sema like reality venye iko ni ati selfish gain. Unacheki selfish gain inamaanisha I am lying because nataka mse probably anipende for someone I'm not. Maybe mse hata kama niulize, by the way, unaenda out namwambia zizi enda out. Mimi hata sijawahi kanyaga nini. Hata sijui watu wanaanziaga wapi, just because najua nikimwambia hivyo probably I'll lose that person. So most times people lie because I know if I tell this person the truth, they'll probably walk away from me. If I tell them, remember that topic we were talking about, telling people about our past. Nilikuwa nasema sometimes unaamua tu wacha ni withhold information, sitaambia umse about my past. Probably I dated someone somewhere. Why should I have to tell this person ati nilikuwa na date mtu fulani? Juu akijua ataanza kuni-associate na vitu zingine zenye probably hata siko saizi venye Roberta amesema yeye amegrow through lying. Saizi anasema she's not that person anymore. You see that you need to give someone that chance ya like a fresh, let me call it a fresh start. So unataka kujudge mse according to what they were before. But hautaki kujua this new person that ako hapa. And people do change, right? People grow, people change, people become different. You know, we grow through seasons. The person that I was 5 years ago, that's not me right now. So, me naonaga sometimes people lie for that kind of selfish gain. Zile za, why should I have to lay my heart out to you and my everything to you, and then you start judging me from my previous life or from my previous relationship or from my previous. So sometimes people lie for selfish gain or just to protect themselves. Nataka kujiprotect zile za staki wase wajue huyo cute mwenye alikuwaga kitambo, because when they know, of course they will judge me. We are all human beings. At the end of the day, kila mtu anataka kujudge mtu according to, that's why unasikiaga ukimit na mse mtu sana anakuulizaga, unafanya job wapi? You know, why should you have to know about mbona nataka kujua about hata kwenye naishi, kwenye nafanya job, mimi nani, nafanya gani? Ni si unijue tu like, huyu ni Ann. My name is Ann. Let's start from there. Una get? So people lie to actually not, I don't want to lose you. Maybe as a friend, maybe in a relationship, like, nakudanganya tu mimi by this and again. Junajua ukijua utaniacha na I am here, I really want this to work. So, utapata tu msee anadanganyana. Kuna tu siku moja utajipata tu umeenda hiyo out. But just to add on what Roberta said, I love the way she was saying, like, unaona ukihang out na wase fulani. Mimi kitambo hata msee angeniuliza ni aje, hii saa tu utanipeleka place fulani na kwa zile niko na shughuli. Saizi I don't. Naambiaga tu kama ni beshte yangu namwambiaga ni aje, nataka tu kukaa kwa hao the whole day. Nimechoka the whole week. Nimekuwa nikiamka mapema, nimekuwa nikifanya job and all that. I just want to rest. And they understand that. But kitambo ilikuwa gani aje uko wapi? Hata ndio ndatoka kwa hao baadaye, siko sure, you know, like uko ile place ya kudanganya utu tuongo tudogo, but it's because you've worked on yourself enough to know uko kwa ile space yenye siwezi danganyana hata madhe kitambo. My mom nilikuwa namwambiaga by the na yani niko Nakuru but hata jua niko Nakuru. Mimi nimeenda Nakuru shughuli zangu because I do want to like hurt her feelings because najua pendi probably nikifanya job hizo in clubs and all that, but nowadays imagine my mom calls me namwambia mom niko kwa club na watch game na watch game saizi leo tulikuwa na nini, tuko na Radio Citizen, we are actually doing a road show, we are actually doing something, but before I used to lie to her just to protect her feelings. Nilikuwa na feel but nikakam ku realize if anything ever happens to me na niko Nakuru ama niko Kisii ama niko wapi na hajui, I think it hurt more that I didn't actually tell her about that. So saizi mali imefika inakuwaga tu na watch game by the way tuko na mabeste wangu tuko hapa by the way tuko Kisii ama tuko Meru. Even my dad knows, like they all know like where I am at. So kitambo I used to feel like I need to protect them, but nikakam ku realize hiyo kwa protect itakam kuwa hurt. God forbid if anything happens to you alafu anacheki kwa news anashindo kwani mtoto wangu si yako Nairobi, nyinyi mnaniambia story ya Meru or wherever. So sometimes it's just good to be honest with someone. Hivyo vile CJ amesema unaweza fikiri una protect feelings zake, but wewe mwambie ukweli deal na hiyo ukweli venye iko.
One thing ina come out kwa hii conversation ni we all need to have the grace to allow people be themselves.
True.
For us to begin solving this problem ya kudanganywa. Because sometimes unadanganywa kwa sababu hauna hiyo room.
Wewe ni mkali sana.
Like hauna hiyo room to accept somebody for who they are. Or amekupima akasema akaona you can't take the truth yet. So we all need to have that level of grace to allow people. So nasema like saizi vile uko more open with your parents is because they allowed there was some level of grace wakakukubalia ukue what you're doing, so it's easier for you to open up about your whereabouts. CJ, there is also something coming out from this conversation, hizo innocent lies, those two small lies for lack of a better term and those big lies that are very destructive. Talk to us about whether there is something as small lies
about good lies
na kuna zingine zenye ni mbaya. So how do we even draw the line, you know? Ama zote ni lies.
You see, we're just coming back to how we communicate.
Yeah.
Generally, we're just coming back there. Because I may like something and I really want it, but then I'm very sure that you will not let me have it. So I want to have it, but I know if I tell you, this is where I want to go, you will not accept that. But it is my desire. So I might then tell you, as you know, Bobby was talking about, I'm going for a biology book or something, because there's something that I really want.
Na relationships mingi zilianza hapo na biology.
There's something that I really want, but you either will not accept it, you can't handle it. And maybe it's because listening to you, you've been talking so much against that. And this is something I like, but I've already had you having a stand on that thing so much that I don't know how you will relate with it if I tell you. So in the case of Cutie, for example, if you've been hearing your mom saying, only bad girls go to the club, only this kind of people. So then you feel like you want to go, but then you know her stand on this already. So it has not removed your desire, but then you also know her stand. So what do you do in this case? That's when people begin to find ways of communicating something that is not exactly the truth.
No, CJ, tell us the truth.
So people then, you know,
communicating like, something that is not the truth, that's a lie.
Yes, it is a lie. You see, You talked about small lies. So at the point where somebody is giving this small lie, they're not even thinking that they're lying. That's how they will perceive it. That's how they will package it in their mind, like, well, I've not even hurt them. It's just that I know that they cannot handle this, and it's not that I'm going to do something bad. So what is that again? It's just communication. Like, why don't we sit down and say, look, I know you don't like somebody going here, but I feel like I want to go there for this reason and this reason. And I know you have your own fears and you have your own worries and doubts about that. But I can tell you, I'm just going there to meet up with people. I'll be hanging out with Bobby. I'll be hanging out with this person over there. So I'd feel like I need to go. And then let this person deal with that. When they begin to see, and that's probably where Cuties people got to, when they begin to see that when you go out, you don't mean evil, for example, or whatever they thought that happens there is not happening to you, that truth begins to build trust. They may still not agree with what you're doing. They may still not like what you're doing, but at least there's an element of trust that brings a certain level of safety. So why I talk about the issue of communication is that the bedrock of lies is fear. It's the fear of being judged. It's the fear of being rejected. It's the fear of being found. It's the fear of being known. Basically, it is fear. So if we extend grace, the space Roberta was talking about is eliminate the fear. Remove the fear from the person, and you will be shocked at what somebody will be able to tell you. Even children, you know, if you keep on shouting and you're screaming, there are a lot of things they'll never tell you. And it doesn't mean that they don't know those things. They know so much, and they do a lot that they would tell you if they felt safe. You know, I used to come home and then I would have this strong voice if I call out my boys and the girls. So I'll just need to shout their name once, and then it goes quiet. Then I'll hear so much more about these guys from their mom. And I wonder, so why are they not telling me all these stories? Because their imagination is, I can't take it. And that was not even true. It's a perception. And they will be able to say a lot more over there, more openly, because there's no fear. So the moment fear is removed from communication, there'll be a bit more truth. So what we call small lies are actually just the manifestations of the fears that we have. That this person would want to communicate something, but they are afraid. And these things come from how we are socialized. Of course, there are those who, on the extreme, are pathological liars. Like, it's systemic. It is in them. Even where there's nothing to fear.
And there are many.
Even when there's nothing to fear. Even when there's no consequence of speaking the truth. Even when they hold powers of truth. They'll just lie. There's that one where somebody's trying to survive. And, you know, this kid is avoiding punishment. This kid
can that be excused?
The pathological one?
No. The one for survival.
Well, you see, this one of survival, they just need to know it is safe. It is safe here to speak the truth. When you pick up that, and you can tell this person is trembling while lying, then you know that this is not them. Something is actually happening to this person that is causing them do this thing. So eliminate that. That's the place of extending grace. Eliminate that. And that means now, if they're talking to me, I need to hold back my reaction, even when I feel like I'm going to go crazy or I want to interrogate it further. So when you come up with things like, if Bobby's telling me I did that, if I come up with something like, how could you do that? I've shut that communication. I've shut them down completely. I need to understand where they were at in that particular space and listen more so that they keep on telling me. So I need to get into their space to get to know, why did she do that? Why did she feel she needed to get a loan somewhere when she didn't need the money? And why did she feel that she needed to go this direction and not that other direction? Why did she feel that she needed to be with this person and not the other person? I need to get into their space. The moment she begins to feel that I'm trying to understand her, she will not see the fear of bringing out who they are. But if I sit from over here and I say, but who does that? You know, so I've already made them feel something is wrong with them.
Like me.
So they will never speak the truth. So sometimes we produce small lies by our reactions.
How we react, yeah.
How people, and sometimes it's history. Somebody once just told you something, they saw how you blew up, and they didn't give you the whole story, and so they kept that, that story. And then you come to find it, and you're like, you lied to me. Then they didn't lie to you. You couldn't handle the truth because they started the intro, and you were already guns blazing. So it comes back again, Safin, whether it is the small lies or whatever, the white lies, it's just communication on both sides, whether we're on the same page. But there are those who are just pathological liars. They have no reason to lie.
But they lie anyway.
They have nothing to protect. They have nothing to fear. It's not survival. They're not trying to preserve themselves, but it's just in them. And when it is there, then that is more of a psychological issue. You probably just need to find help. Like other people would find help. You need to find help because, again, you hurt people around you. You know, when I'm lying to you when I didn't have to, then you begin to ask yourself, so why did he do that? So when you're a pathological liar, you really hurt people around you.
Roberta, from where you sit, how do you tell the difference between the patterns of a pathological liar and a liar who just did that because in that moment it was what was best? How do you tell the difference, and would you forgive a pathological liar?
Utaki nifike home. Leo vizuri. Would I forgive a pathological? Oh, that's. Let me not answer that one.
But how do you even get to differentiate here?
In the actions, character. Venye CJ amesema. You'll see someone lying and you can see the fear. You can see they're shaking. You can see they're not comfortable. It's like the truth. Hata ukimwangalia macho unaona truth inataka kupenya, but because of the fear they have maybe of your reaction, or you can see this a lot, especially in kids. And let me just use this example. Jana, I had a small altercation with my brother about something small that he lied to me about. And I saw he was lying. He didn't need to lie about it. It was so small. But I know why he lied, because he was scared of how I would react. Definitely. Sometimes I go off. Sometimes it's human, it's natural, But
But at least now we've learned we shouldn't.
Yeah. He even told me you didn't need to react like that because I walked away. I didn't argue. I just said, you didn't need to lie to me, and I walked away. And I know it hurt him because we should have talked about it. But then I don't want to say he should have told me the truth, because I like to take responsibility first on my end, because I saw the fear in his eyes. I asked him once, he lied. I asked him the second time, he lied. And he was unable to. And I can't say I don't know where the fear is coming from, because najua mimi ni waya saa zingine. Lakini, we talked about it later and we ironed it out and we apologized to each other. But I can say action, someone's character, someone's history, looking at, just listening to someone, getting to know someone, you'll know so many things without even hearing from them. Me, I'm a person who looks at actions more than I listen to words. That's how it might be a bit difficult to lie to me, because the things you say to me have to match with who you are. If you tell me, mi nendanga church kila Sunday. Mina kwanga mse wa God, nendanga church kila Sunday. Ni sawa ka uendangi church ama whatever, whether you go or not, I won't sitawahi kumonitor nijue, lakini venye tu wewe act, venye tu wewe uongea, venye tu wewe treat watu, it will tell me everything I need to know about how spiritual you are, how in tune with your God you are. Mina penanga kusave pesa. Lakini kila saa unanga do. Unaona words zako na
action. Do you know people who do this as a lifestyle? They don't have to say that they do these things.
Thank you.
Like, kama unaenda church kila Sunday, si big deal, si kitu ya kwa meza ati. By the way, mi huenda church every Sunday.
You don't have to bring it up. And something with liars, they do that a lot. They always have to mention. They give additional information, excess stories. They tell you things you didn't ask. They because of their anxiety. Let me tell you, when you look at people, even when you watch these FBI videos, how they do the interrogations and catch liars, it's all about behavioral patterns. It's about how they swallow. when they're talking. It's about how they keep eye contact, how they look at you when they're talking to you, how they answer your questions, how they react. If you're very keen, but it takes a certain level of even you being super in tune with yourself for you to be able to notice these things. Liars fidget. Unajua unashanga, why is your leg shaking like that? Just pick a story. Pick a story. So if you're not rada we mwenyewe, hauta catch vitu ka hizo. There's no, like I said, there's no full proof of being this lie detector. But if you're in tune with yourself and you're not a person who lies, being around liars, you'll see it very easily because we act differently. You see, things like lying, behavioral patterns, sometimes they elicit fight or flight. How people just act. You can see a cornered person, a scared person, a confident. And even when a confident person is lying, you can still see it. You can feel it. Tuliwachile interview juzi. You can see. You can see. So it's just about like you being super in tune with yourself. I am done. You being super in tune with yourself enough to be able to notice when someone is being honest. There's no need for the anxiety. And I mentioned I was a former liar because I want to bring it up that anyone can do better. Anyone can change. Anyone can improve. Even these small little lies, sometimes they come out because it's habit, not because you want to hurt the other person. Even pathological liars, I'd like to believe that when they come to the realization of the consequences that they've caused, all the damage they've caused, because the reason I stopped lying is because when I did my reflection and I realized, oh my God, all these people don't even want to hang around me anymore because my stories are never straight. You lose your friends, you lose your family, you lose deals, you lose money. Nobody wants to work with you anymore. The general consensus is that Roberta is not a very honest person. Give her your money at your own peril. Yeah. How do you survive that? So it's a personal choice, but life, fortunately or unfortunately, pushes you to a point where you'll have to wake up at some point and say, I deserve good friendships. I deserve honest love. I deserve people around me who match my energy. And this is the same energy I want to give out. So to summarize, to answer the question, if you want to catch liars, if you want to be able to tell, this one is not being all the way straight with me, first of all, work on yourself, work on your own lies, work on your own honesty, work on becoming a better person, one. Number two, hang around people of your caliber. Hang around people you want to be like, people you emulate, I always make sure I'm not the smartest person in the room because I don't want to be the one people are always looking up to. I want to be the person who is learning consistently. I need to know, how does Safin do her makeup? How come her dresses are always amazing? How is CJ such a good orator? How is, mina kwanga mining all the time. I'm always trying to find out, how can I be better? How can I be good like my friends? And those are the kind of rooms I sit in. And when you do that, you realize people who are on a journey to be better, they literally always accord you the space to be better. Hakuna hiyo castigation, judgment. Right. They always hold your hand to be like them. But if you're hanging out with liars and you hate lies, doesn't make sense. They pull you back. They keep you in a space where lies are accepted. Lies always fly. It's okay. They become yes men. They allow you to lie as much as you want because spia mi udanganya, mi sijali kama unanidanganya. So work on yourself, work on the people you keep around, and then these things start to change gradually, like a domino effect. And then, only then is when you're going to be able to tell. I notice when Roberta is telling her story, she's so fidgety. It could be that I'm anxious, just an anxious person. But then if you can read the vibes, you can see the energy, you know my character, you know the kind of person I am, you've seen how I handle things, not just with other people, with myself. There's certain things that people who, kuna watu wengine ufanya vitu zao, haezi compromise personality yake kubamba watu wengine. Kama hiyo kitu, napenda hiyo example, kitu amepeana ya iyo ya mabeshte zako kukukol. Na unajua, siko home, sijui nini. You reach a point you're like, nani atanichapa? Sini nyumba yangu.
Na time ni yangu.
Na time ni yangu, maisha ni yangu, kila kitu ni yangu. Kama sitaki kuona leo, sawa, no. Siko home. And once you start, let me tell you, let me urge you, start with that first one. That first one, just say no. Just say no, sitaki ku hang out leo. You'll find it easier. Utaona,
the
kumbe watu hata hawakunijamia. Then it becomes easier. You build your confidence in telling the truth much more.
All right.
So anyone can change, anyone can do better.
All right. Cutie, kuna hii group ingine wenye they become extremely nice wakisha lie. For example, tumesikia cases. Mtu anapendwa sana. Na hiyo time yenye anapendwa ndiye huyo mtu wake ana cheat. Like anakuja asubuhi amefanya vitu mzuri, you can't even tell. How do you see through that kind of a lie? Ile time yenye mtu anakuwa extremely nice. I don't know whether that's a thing, CJ. You can also weigh in on this. There are people who become extremely nice when they are doing something wrong behind the scenes. Yeah?
Na imagine utajua, at some point you'll be like,
you know?
Acha nikwambie intuition yako yu kuambia. I don't know how, but God ametupatia hiyo. Say kusema nika kipawa, but it's something that you will always know. Vile Roberta anasema, imagine you will always know when someone is lying to you. I don't know how we detect it. I don't know how we know it, but kuna kitu tu inakuambiaga something is not right. Yani body yako tu inakuambiaga hapa by the way, intuition yako ikuambia kitu. Usiwai lenga, usiwai sema, maybe I'm overthinking. Usiwai jiconvince that you overthink. When your intuition tells you something, imagine just believing it, because something is not wrong and something is actually wrong. Kitu inakwambia umse kuna venye ana behave na something is not right. You actually start sio kuinvestigate per se, but anza tu kumsoma, anza kumwangalia vile ana behave. It's a thing, like ni kama God ametupatia hiyo something like sixth sense hapa. Mtu yeye anadanganya, because how does a mom know mtu yeye anadanganya? Kwa sababu amezoeana na mtu yeye, na anajuaga mtu yeye, namjua vizuri tena sana, na anajua akifanya kitu fulani kuna venye yeye behave, kuna vile yeye ufanya. So hata mtu yeye akikuwa extremely nice, utajua hapa anachezwa tu game nyingine mbaya sana, una get. But kuna wale wase wenye tu kama amekosea tu, hata kama kwambie babe, by the way, mimi nimekosea, iko hivi na hivi, kama ni mbaya, una get. But there are those people, and then for you have to give, venye tumesema, you always have to give someone that space. Onyesha msee, ukiniambia ukweli sitalipuka ama sitajam. Unaona? Ndio nakwambia mimi but for me nime grow through that. But nikwambia ukweli mimi nime grow through that. Kitambo nilikuwa nashindwa kusema hiyo no. Kwambia mabeshte wangu, so nilikuwa na feel inani drain. Msee anakwambia ni aje. Mimi nilikuwa gole msewa, I'm hosting all the time. I host all the time. By the way, mimi nilikuwa msewa game nights. I used to be that one person that sawa kujeni, ilifika place nika realize it's actually draining me. Uta realize ukikuwa too nice, it actually drains you. So I started being like, and I felt so bad, like una like lying to my mom and telling her, by that niko Kanairo tu nimetulia, ati nimetoka mbio, nimeenda kushika simu place hakuna kelele, nimeenda kwa gari. I'm like, why am I even doing? Kwa nini nafanya hivi? But then it's draining pia. Lying is also, it also drains you. Actually, it's actually hard work.
You always have to remember the last thing you said.
The last lie you say.
If you say the truth, you'll keep the script constant, because it's something you actually did.
True that.
But if you lied,
itakuletea shida.
Last time nilimwambia nini?
Na nimekam kurealize my mom might not agree with everything that I do, even with my career choices and all that, but she'll always be like supportive. Atasema okay sawa, please take care. Hata kama ha agree, of course yeye ni Christian mswacha. So hakuna ile day ata agree tunaenda kwa baisa kupiga ati job. Yeye anashindwa hizo ni nini unamwambia, but ako kwa ile space, nimemweka kwa ile space yenye mom, I honestly don't want to lie to you. Dad, I don't want to lie to you. Yani mabeste wangu wako zile za cheki, sijisikii nataka kukaa peke yangu hii weekendi, kaini mali penye uko. So just learn to kukua kwa hiyo space. Once you start being in that space, even your friends and your loved ones, the real ones will accept you for who you are. Una get. So just be yourself. Imagine the world will get to where you are.
CJ, as we close this program, I want you to talk to two people. One who's a serial liar. Na anasema si fault yake, ajielewe hata yeye kuna tuka kitu. Then there's that person mwenye ako kwa hiyo space ya amedanganywa sana, baka hana space ya kutrust anyone. Amekuwa defensive, amesema mimi siwezi amini anyone because of the things I've gone through in this life. As we close,
you know, I love what Roberta said. To start with the first one. Again, it's just like going to the gym. The first day you feel the muscles ache, but the only way to get your muscles all right is to go back to the gym. So it's very uncomfortable to speak the truth the first time if you're not used to it, because you are thinking about what the other person is thinking. There's a discomfort that you feel. But we have to ask ourselves why nature itself calls us out when we lie. Why are there those hormonal and chemical changes that somebody can use something to detect that you are lying because probably your eyes popped up more or your pressure was a bit higher? Like your body, your physiology itself betrays you when you lie. So that means you're acting out of character. And so sometimes, you know, I'll go back to what you asked, QT, then I come to what you've asked me. Sometimes you'll tell someone is lying when they're acting out of character. So I've come back home very late, and I never tell you a lot. But then suddenly this day, I'm telling you a lot about what I was doing. I'm offering too much info to overcompensate. That means I'm trying to shift how you think. I'm telling you a lot of stuff, but you can see the gaps in there. This story doesn't add up, but I'm really going on with a lot of information or insisting on a particular line of thought so that I can shift your mind to think a certain way. You can always tell there is something that is not adding up. Oh man, our car crashed somewhere, but you're coming back clean. So we were arrested, but you're looking all made up. You know, there's always going to be a little something detail missing somewhere. Yeah. That's the problem with lying, because then you don't think it out. Now, the people who've mastered it, with time, they have also trained themselves. They've trained themselves to lie because over and over, so the first time I come and tell you, you know, we had a tire bust and so that's delayed us, but then you mention, but why is your shirt clean? So I'll think about that the next time. So now the next time I'm going to work out something that is 360. So they begin to actually put their thought to it. Yeah. If you learned how to lie, you can unlearn it. You can start learning how to speak the truth again because you actually learned this. You knew maybe she will think about this, maybe he will ask this, maybe it will go here. So you begin to put up your story together. And it gets to the place where you actually begin to believe your own stories. You actually lie to yourself. You actually begin to believe it and you wonder why guys are not believing what you say. That's the truth. Because you've gotten taken into it. But the people around you are a mirror of your life. And even when you don't notice that now you have become a pathological liar, look at how people around you begin to handle you. If they begin to doubt everything that you say, and sometimes they'll not call you out, they just will disregard it. They'll not take it serious. When you begin to see that you're losing key relationships, important assignments, you're losing things that you would have wanted to work for and get in life, you need to get back to the place and ask yourself, is what I am worth losing all of those? And begin to teach yourself how to speak the truth.
Finally, that person who has given up?
The person who has given up, you see, it's just probably the people that you have met. Don't think, I know QT said everybody lies, but there are also people who will tell you the truth to a great degree. So do not use the judgment of the 2 or 3 people you've met in life, or maybe sometimes it's just one person who has lied to you so much that you don't believe that other people can speak the truth. When you meet the next person, give them the benefit of doubt.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Give them the benefit of doubt. Like QT said, I mean, mbona ujudge mtu na past yake? I mean, accept people for who they are presenting themselves at that time. Deal na huyo mtu at that time. You never know. You may lose out on a beautiful relationship just because of the fear of trusting again. And if anybody out there is making you feel like you constantly have to lie, by the way, also think about whether you should be around those people. Sometimes you think it's you who is the problem, maybe it's them. If they are pushing you to the space where you always have to lie, also think about whether you still need to hang around that person. My name is Safina Chengoma. Thank you so much for creating time for us this particular Tuesday. We do this every week, so make sure next week you also join us for another discussion. For now, it's a wrap. Have a lovely day ahead and take care. Please take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day.